What's going on, everyone? How's it going? ScalperHero is back with my story. Now, usually it would just naturally carry on from where I left off, but I've had to delete that next video because it all messed up in the recording and the rendering, so I had to delete it, so I'm just going to do it again. Playing video games, my spelling and my reading got a lot better. My grammar still sucks and my handwriting still sucks, but I'm not going to let that determine me at all, because I really don't care what that looks like, to be fair, because your grammar and your spelling, well, your grammar and your handwriting doesn't determine the type of person you are. So anyway, apart from that, I used to live in London. I have lived in London, I've lived in Essex as well, and pretty bad stuff, but I had some good times in Essex and London. But there's nothing really to say about London at all, really, because, you know, nothing really that important happened. So, the same with Essex, really. I don't really have much to say on that one either. But, when I was 16 and started getting myself back together and everything, I got mixed up in the wrong crowd in the worst possible time. And one thing that happened was I actually used to cut myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't actually suicidal or trying to kill myself or anything like that, but it was just the rush, if that makes any sense. It's really kind of hard to explain on what it was all about, but yeah. Now, if I was trying to kill myself, I would have just taken a shitload of pills or some bollocks like that. But I wasn't actually trying to kill myself. It just, the rush and the depression, you know, it helped. Well, I wouldn't say it helped, but because I was so depressed, I just thought it was a good idea, which, by the way, it was not a good idea. Very not much like a good idea at all. Let me just, there we go. Not a good idea whatsoever to do that. I regretted that ever since, really. I also got into drinking. I used to drink a hell of a lot on the parks and everything like that. I used to drink like pretty much every single day, which was also a bad idea. I hardly ever drink now, though. I mean, sure, I can drink if I wanted to, but I just don't anymore. For some reason, I'm on this end of the camera and not like in the center. So yeah, I don't really know what I was doing or anything. I was pretty much really just super stupid when I moved back to Chesterfield, and I regretted all the drinking that I did, because I turned nasty and just always wanted to fight, always got into a lot of fights as well, even when I wasn't drinking. I also did drugs such as weed. Now, I didn't do anything heavy or anything like that, I just did weed mostly, and solid. Now, with a lot of people, they say weed is will send you on a hype and all of this. And at that age, I actually believe them. Now, drugs have different effects on different people. Okay, weed and solid, they didn't do anything for me apart from send me to sleep. I'm being serious, right? If I smoked weed, I would be asleep within the next 10 minutes. That's the only effect that weed ever had on me. Same with solid. I just went straight to sleep, and that was it. It was all over. I was able to stop all the drinking. I don't know how I managed that. I really have no idea how I managed that. But I was able to stop all of that drinking. Now, I only drink if basically if it's like, you know, special occasions or some bollocks like that. Even then, I hardly ever drink. Let me just... my arm really hurts when I'm holding my phone. So yeah, I was able to get off all the drinking. I got off the drugs as well, the weed and the solid. Now I know, like I said, I never did anything heavier than that. That was my limit. I was not going to get addicted to any of that other crap, because to me there's no point in drugs whatsoever. And when I was doing all the drinking and I get into all these fights, there was actually, now I'm the type of person that hates to see an unfair fight. So if it's like 2-on-1, I'll jump in. If there's like 3-on-1, I'll jump in. No matter how, even if the odds are stacked against me, say like 4 against 1, I will still jump in to help that one, because I hate to see an unfair fight. But with all the drinking I was doing, I actually made one friend after he got into a fight, and I jumped in to help him. Now everyone else was trying to get me to help them to beat the crap out of him, but I would not do it. I turned my back on all of them and helped him, and I basically made my first real friend in Chesterfield on that day. So I ended up getting another friend, and that was just bang on. I went back to college. I actually went back to college, and then I started getting my income support to help me get through college and all this. Now, keep in mind, I'm only 16 and didn't really know much and really had nothing to spend my money on. So I'd just go out and just spend it all on crap. Because when I was living in a flat on my own, my rent would actually be paid for me because I am a minor, and I kept my 40 quid a week and all of this extra good stuff. So I was getting money and my rent was being paid for me, and the only thing I had to pay for was my TV license and my water and electric. That's pretty much all I had to pay for, and that was never too high because I'm underage, and obviously I was in college. Which is pretty helpful actually. Now times now have like pretty much changed for the worse, but anyway, now when I went back to college, I had 2 more friends. I actually met 2 more people, and we would play like Yu-Gi-Oh! Constantly. It was constantly Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I love that game. I mean, who doesn't? I am going to be starting doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos soon, because there's a new game out. So I'm going to be doing that again. So if you want to play, hit me up. Anyway, so yeah, I got into a fight with him. So I basically had 3 friends, but my main friend was the person that I helped in the fight, because he was there for me every day, and he was the one that helped me get off all the drinking and stop doing the drugs completely, because, well, he didn't see any point in it either, and we both wanted out of that life. I mean, it's pretty good to see that 2 16-year-olds want to stop the drinking before anything gets out of hand. I mean, that's an incredible thing to see. I mean, an adult these days need AA meetings and rehab and all that, but when you see teenagers just stop instantly, it was pretty amazing, to be fair. A lot of people actually tried the same thing, but they ended up going into rehab and whatnot. But yeah, so I did actually make a friend, but the main thing about this video was I was actually able to get off all the drinking. It wasn't about making the friend. Now I'll go into more about that friend later on, but I was able to get off the drinking. I was able to stop cutting myself, and I got off any weed and solid that I was actually on. So, you know, everything turned out absolutely great, and to be honest, I have not touched drugs ever since that day. So, kudos to me. So yeah, basically guys, now my main message with this part of the story is that you don't need drugs or alcohol to do anything. You can do everything without it, okay? Now, I'm not saying, if you are a drug taker or someone that loves to have a drink, then fair enough, okay? But don't let it get out of hand, okay? That's basically my message to you. Try not to do anything too stupid like going overboard with the drugs, because drugs have bad effects. They really do. So does alcohol. But did you know, right? With alcohol, you get women beaters, you get drunk drivers who fucking kill a load of people on the street from drinking and driving. But then when you get a weed smoker, it's completely illegal, and yet they're mellow, they don't beat their women, and they don't fucking run people over in cars. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But yeah, basically my message was that try not to overdo it with the drugs, and if you feel like you want to get off it, then do your best to get off it. I mean, I did, and I turned out absolutely fine. I really did. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be uploading the next video next week on Friday, talking about more about in Chesterfield and my best friend. Well, my best friend at the time. So don't forget, I will be uploading these ones like literally every Friday if I'm able to. This is not a promise, it is only if I'm able to, because I have a lot to do myself. So yeah, thanks for coming, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to smash the shit out of that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to keep it very, very sexy. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace!